Hello, everyone. Thank you for being patient. Deja and I, Metal Scraps is back for this month at least. um, we've been a little bit of an MIA just because, just things. But we are happy that we are back and we are here with Elaine of Muriel and Joyce. Finally, we get to meet. We were supposed to do her interview maybe a couple of months ago, but again, schedule kind of restricted all that. But no further ado, we want to introduce Elaine of Muriel and Joyce, and I'm going to give it to Deja to give her a warm welcome.
Oh. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Metal Scraps. Welcome back. It's been a few months, but we're excited that Elaine is available again to do an interview. So you guys get to know Elaine from Muriel and Joyce. I've known Elaine for a few years, started with the Girl Gang. And when I left the Girl Gang, I was asking our friend Mika, who we interviewed in the fall, about tarot decks. And she's like, well, we have a little group, just Elaine and I, where we talk about tarot stuff. So now we have a little book club, and it was so great to reconnect with Elaine, and because I missed her from the Girl Gang. So it was great to start our little book club. And now we have a page also, the Three of Cups, where we talk about all things tarot. But a little bit about Elaine. She's a jewelry maker, a homeschooler, a homesteader, a gardener, a tarot reader. So, and I'm sure the list goes on beyond that. But those are the titles that she kind of wears, or the hats she wears now. So I'm excited to welcome Elaine. And Elaine, please, our first question was from Mika, and that was how you got started. And we'd also like to know a little bit about your name, Muriel and Joyce.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me. First of all, I'm really excited to be on Metal Scraps. I'm a big fan. So I guess the name of my jewelry business and my tarot business, which is also kind of under that umbrella, is called Muriel and Joyce. And those are Muriel is my maternal grandmother and Joyce is my paternal grandmother. And I kind of inherited my love of jewelry from both of them. So that's why I named my business that. And then as far as getting started, I started making jewelry after I had my older daughter, so about 7 years ago. And I mainly make beaded wire jewelry. I kind of branch off into other things as well, but that's the basics of what I do. And I have jewelry at several different businesses in my area. I live in very, very, very western Pennsylvania. I'm literally the last house before you get into West Virginia, and I'm in the Ohio Valley. So it literally within 10 minutes drive, I can be in West Virginia and Ohio. So I have jewelry in several businesses around here, and a customer at one of those businesses reached out to me saying that because I knew I worked with crystals and was kind of into metaphysics and magic in general, she wanted me to like intuitively make her a crystal bracelet and during a moon. And so I said, okay, I can do that. And but I decided to pull a tarot card for her because that's kind of how I work with the magic of the world, and I interpret a lot of the things that I do with tarot. And it just went on from there. Like, she loved it and talked about it, and luckily she's kind of like a prominent person in the I don't know how to even say it, like woo-woo community around where I live. So she talked it up a lot, and I just started promoting it along with my regular jewelry business, and it's actually kind of become the bulk of what I do now, along with tarot.
Awesome. Well, that's the perfect segue, because I was one of the lucky recipients of one of your new moon bracelets, and I got the strength card, and this awesome bracelet is all things me. It matches almost everything I wear. It's got the blue stone, the gold stone, and the labradorite, and I love it. So tell us, how do you pick the stones? Like, do you pick them after you've drawn the card? Do you kind of, if you know the person, do you choose the stones based on that person? Like, how do you come up with the combination of stones and with your readings?
There's definitely a couple different elements to that. When I do the reading, I kind of say I do a reading for someone and it's really like they're really needing like a lot of love in their life, maybe self-love. So then I'll like use rhodochrosite and rose quartz and green aventurine, like kind of the like those kinds of things. Or I get a lot of readings where people have, same as everybody else, like a lot of stress and a lot of, so I'll give them howlite, and maybe they need spiritual protection because their anxiety is like really harshing on them. So I'll give them obsidian or
I
onyx,
could
or
use
you know.
all of those crystals.
Yes. Well, like I literally have some customers who like they'll be like, and they'll have like 10 of them. So then I also try and incorporate stones that I've never made a bracelet with them for before, because I have some customers that are, you know, getting a little deep in their collection. So they might get a couple repeats, because everybody needs snowflake obsidian in their life, and everybody needs quartz in their life, and everybody needs rose quartz in their life. So you can always have those over and over again a couple times, I think.
That's awesome.
But and also I'll say, like, if I do a tarot reading that's heavy in pentacles, then I will kind of incorporate the more earthy stones. Or if I have a reading that's heavy in swords, it'll be kind of more like clarity, you know, mental clarity stones. And you know, what if I have water, sometimes I'll throw in like some abalone, you know, something that you would associate with water that maybe isn't a crystal really, but you know, another natural element that brings in the element of the tarot cards.
Awesome.
Do you find yourself doing more of the tarot readings than making jewelry, or it seems like they go hand in hand for you?
They definitely do, and I am definitely kind of moving my jewelry to be a little bit more like esoterically themed in general. And I guess it always has, because I've pretty much always used crystals in my work. But the tarot is, okay, I guess the reality of the situation is that jewelry is everywhere, and you can get it everywhere, and everybody has it, and it's everywhere. But not a lot of people use a service that employs tarot with jewelry in some way. And I definitely have more people like knocking on my door asking for that service, as opposed to just buying my jewelry, which people definitely do. But this is something that seems like a little bit more unique and more exciting for people.
I feel like it has, it's the connection. It has more connection, you know, their own reading, and then you get a piece of a reminder and affirmation, if you want to call it, just to kind of help with the day, or you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I definitely have had clients tell me afterwards, like, I put this one back on if I'm kind of feeling the way that I felt when you gave me that reading. Like if I feel like I need to bring that kind of like reminder or healing affirmation back in, I'll choose that one. And that always kind of impresses me, that people really have a strong connection with the reading and the bracelet that came with it. And that makes me feel really good. Yeah.
And it makes sense. It makes sense.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's nice because it's talismanic without being, it's something that's easy to slip on. You know the meaning, the stones and their properties. And then also like the connection with the card, like you said, like it all just makes kind of a nice thing, and it becomes more of like protective and energy and all these things. And it's not just a beaded bracelet. So there's a lot more significance to it. And in addition to the tarot reading and your stone selection, you also charge them either in the new moon, which is no moon, or under a full moon, right?
Yes, absolutely. That's the big, I do them on all different occasions, but the ones that I do the most are the new and full moon, which I pretty much do every month, as long as I feel like I've got the, I'm charged up enough to do that. But yeah, so when I'll do your reading. I will formulate the bracelet for your reading, and then I will go put it. I have, several different crystals to charge other crystals on. So then I will put them on that and charge them in the new or full moonlight. And if the weather's great, I literally take it outside, do the whole shebang, and usually have a little bit of ritual associated with it too. So you're getting even more than like just the crystals. You're getting very clean, like cleansed, charged crystals that are like ready just for you. It's not the same as like going to the store and just grabbing a crystal stretch bracelet off of the rack that like 20 people have tried on before you and left their bad day on it, So yeah, no, it's very tailored to the specific customer.
Awesome. So, speaking of outside, you also have a homestead. You are a gardener and kind of like, I would say farmer, because you're growing your own food. So what are some of the things that you are growing this season? Because you've been fortunate enough to get your starts, and all those things are already looking so vibrant and alive.
Yeah, I every year is an evolution, trying to be better every year. And I say I'm a farmer light. That's how I refer to myself, because we have 1 acre a little bit less than 1 acre property. And we also have animals on that property, and we have a creek, and we have a whole like mess of stuff going on. So it's always about trying to use the space as productively as possible. And for us, that means a lot of vertical growing, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I always do tomatoes, cucumbers, all the like really exciting summer things. We do potatoes and sweet potatoes. I do sunchokes. I do peppers and onions, garlic, like tons of medicinal herbs. That's probably my biggest exciting thing for myself this year, is like that I will also work in my practice, and I do a little bit work into my jewelry making, is growing medicinal herbs and flowers. So that's the most exciting thing for me this year, I think.
Awesome. And I know I don't know if it was last year or the year before that you did the potatoes, and you have so much luck with your potatoes, and it seems like something that's so simple. And I think you got like three different potato rounds last year, didn't you?
Yeah, it's one of the things is like that I'm working on is like sustainability. So it's not just me having a bunch of tomatoes and having salsa all summer, which
right.
Wonderful, but we've gotten to the point where we could put up potatoes, and we were still eating our potatoes till like February. Like I still have butternut squashes from last year, and I do can a lot, but we're trying to keep the space as biodiverse as possible to get as the maximum amount of food as possible. And the sustainability factor is really great, because at the beginning of the pandemic, when some shelves were empty, there was definitely like, for us, our family, a lot less concern, because I'm not sure at the point where we could completely survive off of our land yet, but it definitely like takes a little bit of the fear of having to access food in a different way, because I can walk into my backyard or into my cold cellar or into my pantry and have all this stuff that I grew. And that's like super satisfying feeling.
And and you're rural, so if something were to be, come up and there was a food shortage, you're going to be one that is left in the dark per se, versus someone in a bigger city. So it totally makes sense.
Sorry, go ahead.
But I also want to, before we leave the vegetables, I also want to talk about some of your critters. Are your animals, are they food, or are they just friends?
Well,
or both.
I don't want to like hurt any vegan sensibilities out there, because I love vegans too. But yes, most of our animals are for food. We keep ducks mainly for eggs, but you have to keep going through them. You can't like just let them keep piling up on you. And as a farmer, it's our duty to take care of the animals as well as we can. But yes, we have a couple different animals that we raise for meat. Yeah. But also for friendship.
I know where to go when I need to harvest.
Well, you posted a goose egg, a duck egg, and a chicken egg, and it was so interesting to see how big.
Different sizes, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
You mentioned that you're growing your herbs this year, and then you mentioned incorporating it into your work. Is that something that you would take further, like as far as how would you use that? Would you use it for smudging, or would you use it for products?
Well, I've definitely used some herbs in my packaging already when I send people bracelets and other jewelry. I've started making these like botanical bottle necklaces, and that have like different botanicals and then some like crystal chips in them. And everything that's in those that is not the crystal chips is from my garden. So that's really satisfying. And then along with metalsmithing, I definitely have always wanted to get into electroforming too. And when I get into electroforming, I'll definitely be incorporating some of those elements into physical pieces. Yeah.
Awesome.
When do you plan to do the metalsmithing and electroforming?
Well, in the girl gang, luckily and with Deja, I have many people I can kind of reach out to for help.
Yes.
Melissa from Rock Candy Jewelry, she's an excellent electroformer, and she'll probably kill me for saying this out loud, but she's developing electroforming classes, and so I told her I'd be a test subject for her. And then metalsmithing is something I've been like slowly learning about over time, just out of interest in how you guys do what it is the magic that you make is so incredible. And my husband and I are definitely the kind of people who like on a Saturday will sit and watch like 30 YouTube videos about like how to make jewelry and stuff. And he's a real tool guy. So he's definitely never going to be opposed to me like acquiring more tools. So, and I think he's a little bit interested in it too. So I'm hoping this summer, once I get the garden in and it's growing, then I can hopefully take some time and set aside. In the summer, we take more of a break with schooling for our kids. So like everybody else. So hopefully I'll have a little bit more free time to concentrate on that then.
Well, and I know last summer you were busy with your garden and all your critters, and finding free time for you, I'm sure is.
Well, I have to say, I'm at this point in time, I have a little bit of free time because my husband's mother is here helping me with my kids, and she's here for 3 months. So woo! I have months to figure it out, I guess.
Yeah. Hashtag no excuses.
Yeah, exactly.
So recently you started doing in-person tarot readings.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if you pulled a card for us today.
Okay, I did, and I got super lucky because I was like, I'm gonna pull one that I hate, and then I'm gonna have to, or that I'm like, I don't, there's a couple cards that even the most experienced tarot reader, when they get it, they're like, great, okay. But when I did my morning pull for myself, and I actually was super lucky and got I call it one of my cards, but it's the Page of Pentacles. This is one of my favorite cards. And whenever this pops up in a reading for any of my clients, I'm just like, literally, I get like excited for them when I pull this card.
And what is that card again?
This is the Page of Pentacles. Ooh, let's see.
Page of Pentacles.
And this is from what most people think of when they think of tarot cards. They think of this deck, which is the Rider-Waite-Smith-Coleman deck, which was illustrated by the esoteric artist Pixie Coleman. Am I saying this right, Deja? You correct me.
Yes.
Yes, she went by Pixie. But it has the art that most people would associate with tarot cards. But the Page of Pentacles is the Pentacles is a suit of earth, and the page is generally representative of like young exploration, like someone who is looking forward to learning and engaging with the world around them, the people around them. And so this would be someone of that idea, excited to branch out on like excitement around earthly needs, which is usually around wealth and the body. Especially this would be a card that would come up for someone who's maybe like digging into a new sport, or maybe literally digging into gardening, or setting off on a new kind of adventure. Basically, this card always reminds me of the Fool card in a way, which is the first card in the tarot deck. And that is like, people think of the Fool as like a, you know, someone who's foolish, but in tarot it's much more about like a free spirit and someone who is moving off with like great openness into the world. And this card always reminds me of that. And I think in a way, I always feel like on a good day that's who I am too. So I think that's why I always get excited about that card especially.
That's great. And maybe you're going to be starting your metalsmithing journey soon. So
I'm always looking for a new journey.
Well, metalsmithing it has been a good journey for me. So
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
I'm sure that you will love it.
I went to fine art school, and at my first year of college, I spent a good amount of time in 2D and 3D design. So I feel like I have an artistic foundation for it. So I'm excited.
I'm excited to see what you have.
Now I really have to.
Yeah, many hats, I should say.
Yep, let's put another one on.
It's good to have many hats.
I agree. I always tell people when they come to my home that I say, I have a dynamic life and I have a dynamic home that goes along with it. And it is not clean and it is cluttered, but it is full of the joy of my life. And I'm going to add more joy in metalsmithing equipment.
that's awesome. I can't wait.
Same here.
You'll have to help me, Deja.
Deja has helped me a lot. So yes, I can attest to that.
Yeah, it definitely.
Like, Deja, what do I do?
It's easier to dive into when you have good friends who you can coerce into teaching you things along the way.
Right, like, teach me what you know. I can't pay you, but you need to teach me what you know.
Exactly. My good friend, Deja.
Are all, you know, that's what's amazing about this community is everybody is so open to sharing, and that's how these skills continue. You know, they can't die within us. As artists, we need to pass them on and share.
Mhm.
And I do something all the time, even throughout a discussion, even though someone might ask me something, I might learn something from it. So it's awesome that Instagram has brought all these artists together, and that we all kind of have people to lean on when we need to.
Absolutely.
I agree. So we're coming up to a close. Is there anything else that you wanted to share, or do you have any other questions for Elaine?
Elaine, are you doing any in-person markets this summer, or anything that you want people in your area to know about?
So if you're in my area, I do my in-person readings generally at goodness. Okay. At Empower, I was like, oh, what wellness studio? No, it's Empowered Wellness in Ohio, which is a yoga studio, but is probably the coolest yoga studio in the world because they have a little bit of everything going on, including me doing tarot readings. But so I work out of there, and you can go to their website if you ever want to book an in-person reading. And I'm going to be there pretty much every Friday for the rest of the summer for First Fridays in downtown Steubenville. And I'll be selling jewelry, and I might be offering tarot. Like I'm still not. Part of me wants to just make a like old-fashioned like come get your future read tarot booth and be like, just come on up and we'll see what happens. I don't know. So I'm kind of playing around with the idea. But, well, you know, I love Steubenville, but Steubenville is extremely religious because there is a Catholic university right in downtown. So sometimes if you are not, if you're out in the open about esoteric belief, they don't always take super kindly to it. But I think I can lay the charm on enough to make it work.
Indeed, indeed.
So that would be the big thing for now. Yeah, those things.
Well, it is so good to get to know you a little bit more. I love the reasoning behind your tarot and your jewelry. You know, I love that. It's personal, and it's personal to you, and it's personal to the person who's getting it. So it's more meaningful on both ends. So I love that idea. Thank you.
So much. Yeah. It's very fulfilling. I really like that. I feel like I can help people with jewelry, which I didn't even know
Yes.
that was a thing you could do.
Right. And for a lot of us, our jewelry is, we choose our pieces that we wear every day. Like you said, like I feel like I need this, or I want this protection, or I want this energy. I want to feel confident today. So that's what's so awesome. If someone wants a moon reading bracelet, now those are, I know if people follow you at Muriel and Joyce, that you make announcements when you're doing that. Do you have a website or Etsy shop, or is it all through Instagram?
For the moon bracelets, you can contact me through Instagram. That's the best way, at Muriel and Joyce. You can also contact me through my Etsy page, which is just Muriel and Joyce on Etsy. Those are the best ways to get in touch with me. I usually, if you want to book ahead of time, that's best, because I usually have a good amount of people booked up for current moons anyway. Sometimes I don't even take people because I'm already booked up and I got to put you to next month. So if you want to get in, the sooner the better, especially for full moons. People love their tarot on the full moon. So yeah, just through Instagram is the best way to get in touch with me.
Yeah. So also something, so if the new moon is like kind of like new beginnings, and the full moon is letting go. Do I have that right?
Yes. Yeah. So generally if someone is exploring when they would want a reading, I kind of, say if you're manifesting something new, the new moon is the great time to do that. If you're really ready for a big shift in your life, or you want to make some kind of dramatic change, or you really need clarification on something, then the full moon is the best time for a reading centered around those things.
Excellent. Did you do any for the eclipse?
Yes, I did. And they were very interesting. I'll tell you that. And my husband and I went into our neighbor's cornfield and watched the whole eclipse. And then I came back in the middle of the night and did the readings. But man, it was incredible. If you've never seen a lunar eclipse, I really recommend you get your butt out in the moon and see that. It's very powerful, tarot or no.
Yeah.
Anything else, Deja?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining us today, Elaine.
Yeah, thank you so much again. So nice to meet you. So nice to know a little bit more of your background. I'm gonna come over to harvest your crops.
I the butternut squash if they want one.
I can trade you with some fruits.
That's fair. I'll take it.
But yeah, thank you so much. And if you are not following Muriel and Joyce, follow Muriel and Joyce. Don't miss out on some tarot readings and some of the greatest jewelry that she makes.
Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much. And Deja, want to close out?
Thanks for joining us, guys, and hopefully we'll see you sooner rather than later this summer.
We'll do our best. Thank you. Bye, Elaine.
Bye.